YouTube. Good morning. At least I think it's still morning. Anyway, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I did a video. I think over 4 weeks, but I've been very busy and I've got a lot to show. So I'm going to split this into 2 videos. I normally do quilting first, updates, but I've got quite a lengthy one there. So we're just going to start with the short stuff, my cross stitch updates. I've got a few things to discuss there, and I need to ask an opinion on something as well. So we've been on a lot of little journeys over the last few weeks. My son has been, he's wanted a motorcycle, and I think last year, the year before, he was really serious about that. He took a class to learn how to ride one and didn't finish the class. And so there was kind of a hiatus on that whole thing. And he was looking into it again this year, and then saw an old car that kind of struck his fancy. And he was looking at a particular kind, and so he took a trip with a friend of his to go look at it, and it's not what he was, it wasn't something he was interested in. And then the second one we had to go look at was way north of here, and he couldn't get a friend to go with him, so Mama went with him. It was a very long day. He got done with work at like 1 o'clock, and then we hit the road. And we went to, we're just 30 miles outside of Michigan in the Upper Peninsula, here on the Wisconsin side of Lake Michigan. And he looked at the car, he drove the car. He wasn't real pleased with some of the things that needed to be done with it. So we never bought it, but we were, like we said, we were only 30 miles away from the border. And so we drove up to Iron Mountain, Michigan, and we had dinner at Culver's. The Midwest thing, if you're not aware of what that is, Culver's is a fast food place. However, upper scale kind of thing, I guess. I don't want to, I want to say that because to me it's much more, it's better quality. So you'd have to Google it, look it up, but it is a good place to go. And so we went to there, which was just like not even a mile, a half a mile in over the border, and then we turned around and came back just to say that we were there. And it was a very long drive home. It was like a 4.5 hour drive up there, and the same coming back, and we spent a good 2 hours there while we were there. So it was a pretty late night when we got back, shortly after midnight or something like that, but it was very enjoyable, mother-son quality time. And then he found another car, a much older vehicle, a 68, that he was very serious about buying. He actually got a check from the bank and cashier's check and ready to go, but he hadn't driven it yet. And so we went there. It was 2.5 hours away, like in Madison area, and yeah, he didn't think it was actually going to make it all the way back home. He couldn't drive it all the way home. So we reneged on that, and he turned his check back into the bank. And so back on the motorcycle thing, he's now got money down on a little motorcycle. It's a Honda Graham, and it is actually a high-powered scooter. It doesn't go more than 60 miles an hour. He can't take it on the interstate. I suppose he could for short distances. He probably plans to take it to work. It's got I'll post a picture of what one looks like, but it's on order. They're supposed to be in the end of the month, and so his boss is going to teach him how to drive it. Got to get a license, all that good stuff. So we're not traveling or traipsing all over the state of Wisconsin looking for cars anymore. So all the little trips are kind of to the wayside. My mom and I took a trip, which will be on my next video, and we went to a quilt store. And so there will be some video and a little bit of a tour on that one. We are going on a trip today when my son gets off of work. We're going to go up to the cities, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. I lived there for 23 years. I've been here now 12, but his brother had a baby, and so we're going to go deliver the baby quilt I made. So you'll have to watch some previous videos. I've got updates and pictured lots of stuff on that quilt. So we're going to finally get to deliver that and meet the little one, little Evelyn, and at least I think so. I'm waiting for a message back from Grandma to see if it's still okay that we come to visit. I hadn't spoken to her in a while, so anyway, that's kind of the plan for today. So I thought I'd sneak in these videos and things. I do have to work tomorrow. I've been working a lot too. I'm working overnights now too. So I have gone several days without sewing, quilting anything, but I have stitched every day but one for the month of April. So, and I have a fully finish and a couple finishes. And so I've been kind of monogamous for like entire weeks, you know, several days at a time on projects. So I've got quite a good update on some things, but I have fully finished my Humble Gatherings from Scattered Seed Samplers. And I stitched this on 32 count parchment from Fiber on a Whim. And I started this on March 9th and finished it on March 24th. It took 10 days of stitching. And I have finished it on the 18th of April into a little pillow. And there's my little finish, my fully finish. And I put some antique lace on the trim and I sewed it in. And then I have, I think this is Pea Pod Velveteen from Lady Dot Creates. And this is just fused on, but it's just a piece of flannel over my stuffing hole. And then I put a little pin with a key on it to go with the key on the front. And I put my initials on here, and I put 2022 is the date on this when I finished it. So I don't know, and I'm not real pleased with my corners, but they kind of fold in. So I might have did a little too close to stitching on that side, but I think it's just adorable. I love him. He's so cute, and the colors are just up my alley. So I've got that fully finished, and then I finished Bristol Berries. That is Bristol Berries 1. I did the sampler from Erica Michaels. And this is my finish right here. And this was a fun and a very quick stitch. I stitched this on Cream and Sugar, and I think it's 32 count. I don't have it noted on this card, but I had 2 cards at one time. So 32 count Cream and Sugar. Could be 36, but I'm pretty sure it's 32. I started this on my birthday on February 12th of this year, and I finished it on March 18th. I did a total of 19 days of stitching on this. And I did use the classic Colorworks Belle Soie Silk Berry Cobbler. And that is done on that. And I don't know how I'm going to finish this one. I've seen some interesting finishes that I'd like to give a try, but I need to make a trip to an antique store to pick up some tools, some added to finish it, something to finish it with. So, and they could be pretty easily picked up at any antique store. I think they're pretty readily available. I just haven't been to an antique store for a while, so I think that's going to have to be my next trip. We have a couple of them downtown La Crosse here. Oops, I just lost. It is so hot here. It's hot and humid, and tomorrow it's like in the mid 80s right now, and it's supposed to be in the 90s tomorrow, and it's hot and humid, and so just warm. I have the fan going up above, so if I don't keep my papers tied down, they were gonna blow away on me. And I did. I lost one, so I may have to stop if I need it, but I don't think I do. It's just a little note so I don't forget, because it's been a while and I've done quite a bit, and I'm looking at my calendar too. So I think the last video was posted, it was published on the 13th of April. And what are we? Yeah, it's almost been a month. So my next finish is from Silver Creek Samplers. It's called Back to the Grind. Silver Creek samplers, back to the grind. And this is my finish. I enjoyed this. This was very much. I didn't like this part. All this little confetti and the beans. That was not fun. But it didn't take as long to finish it as I thought it would. So I just kind of buckled down, and I did put the year on here, 2022, that I finished it. So I am ready to put this in a frame, and I will put it with glass because I'm going to hang it on underneath the kitchen counter next to my coffee pot. And so let's see here. That was stitched on 36 cappuccino, 36 count cappuccino. Oops. See what I mean about the 36 count cappuccino from Fiber on a Whim. And I used all the called for threads on this one. And I started it on the 8th of February, and I finished it on May 5th, and then I fully finished it. Oh, it's not fully finished yet. I have the date on my card. I mean, the space for the date on my card, but I don't have, it hasn't been fully finished yet. So there's that one. So there we go. Got that taken care of. I finished. I did Bristol Berries was finished on the same day that I fully finished. I finished the Bristol Berries one, and then I fully finished this on the same day. So I was kind of busy that day, taking care of all of those things. And let's see here. So on to works in progress. So I'm going to pull out. I worked on Smith Sampler. This is my K Facet bag. And that is this. I started this on March 26th. It's stitched on, yeah, it's 32 count cream and sugar, which is the same fabric that I used for Bristol Berries. Pull this out of here. I'm doing this is from the Scarlet House. But I'm working on this one right now. And I worked on this several days consistently in a row until I made 2 major mistakes that I had to pull out. And then I stopped. It was time to move on to something else. And then I'm using the called for Classic Colorworks, Belsois, and DMCs. I think it asked for, or called for some Gloriana, or Dinky Dyes, this one. And where I purchased all my floss, they didn't have Dinky Dyes, so I didn't get any of those. So I switched those out for the for the DMCs that are on the chart in the back with all of the different stuff on it. And this is where I am right now. I think last I had shown this, I had just a little bit in the left corner, the star in like a teepee and a half. And I've been calling these little teepees because they look like teepees to me, but they're really cute. So let me get my board here so I can flatten this out a little bit, because I had to rip out all of the little motif over here off of this little stem here because I was off by one, and then the swan that's in the center of this, it didn't fit, and I was like, no, this is going to be absolutely perfectly counted and everything. So I took it out, and then there was an exact replica of this motif on this side, and I had stitched it too far over to the right, and so it wasn't matching up. So I took that out, and we'll start over. But I did get part of the frame in for the swan that goes in the middle. But this is a fun stitch, actually. The color's a little different than I had expected. I think this is more like, you know, I thought they'd look more like this. But, you know, I'm not disappointed. And I am using all of those. Well, I already told you what the threads were. But there's my my ring of, this is the silks and the Classic Colorworks. I got DMCs on here, and here's some more DMCs. I haven't wound them up. So these are all the threads for that. And so I took a break from that for a while since I had to rip out all that stuff. And that was a job ripping them out because it was quite a bit of stuff to rip out. And so that's where I am with this. I'll put this back in the bag. And in here I needed a place to put, you know, your flosses, you know, the pieces you unwind from the thing. And I really found that I like having these little needle booky things where you can put your floss in here, and with lots of little separations, it can keep like colors and stuff together or whatever, how you want to organize it. But so I grabbed some of my 10-inch squares. No, I had Jolly Bar fabrics of Lori Holt's, and I made myself, this is the outside cover of my little needle book. And then I put pockets on this side. There is batting in between the front and the inside, and this is felt that I purchased from from Hobby Lobby. So I've got a 4-page needle book in this one. So that's keeping track of all of those because I change colors quite often on this one. So I wanted a place to neatly keep that stuff. And then I don't have like a snap or anything, so I've been using one of these little closed pinny things to hold it closed. But then I made another one because it was fun and I needed another one. So I made this one with another Jolly Bar fabrics of Lori Holt's. And I used this red, and I put the pocket down here because on the side everything kind of fell out. So I thought, oh, let me try this. So I like that, but I think it needs to have a little flap with a snap and maybe come up a little bit higher to actually hold things in so they don't fall out. So, and I need to make these a little bigger. I was saving some of this felt because I didn't have a whole lot of it. So I made these pages a little shorter. I mean, still doable, but I'd like to make them a little bigger. And I made a little note to myself as to how I'd like to try to enhance this, things that would make it more useful for me. And I'd like to put some sort of a snap or a button elastic closure on it, something like that. So I made 2 needle books, and I'm gonna need another one. I'm gonna need a couple more. I actually need 3 because, and I will give you an update on my future plans that are coming up because I finished 2. I have to start another 2. But I don't have all of the supplies yet. They're coming, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. So the next thing that I worked on, make sure I'm following things here, is Season's Greetings. This is my 25th day. I think Lori Holt started that 25th day stitch. And this is in my God, who is this? Christmas bag. I can't remember who the designer is of this fabric because I wasn't planning to say it, so I didn't I have to think about it. It'll probably come to me while I'm talking about it. But this is a Teresa Kogut, and this was a fully kitted project that I had picked up from the Country Sampler. And so I worked a little bit on this, and I don't remember where I was the last time, but I did put his mitten on and some more of the fence. I don't know. I got way off on this, and I'm trying to fudge it to make it look look appropriate, I suppose, to make it look normal. And so far, I'm thinking this is looking really good. So I got off a little bit, and so now this is up, so I had to do a little fudging to get the fence to go around it. But I'm working on it. It's working out really well. That, like, again, everything from the fence down all the way across on this is full coverage. So I'm trying to get to the point where all I have to do is just do fill in to make it simple enough to do. So, and I'm putting borders on as I get around. But there's some trees and stuff that still need to go in up here in a house and as it goes down. But that's where I'm at with him, and he is just a cutie. And these are the flosses for this. Not very, it's kind of knotted little mess. All right, and let's see. So the pattern, and I wonder sometimes, this pattern didn't say I needed more than one skein of anything, but because of the full coverage, that's going to go all the way across, and I've got a long way to go on the white for the snowman and this greenish, it's called taupe though. I'm not going to have enough thread, and this is 2 over 2, so I ordered more. I have a list that I'm going to have to order some more. So, but the pattern didn't tell me I needed more than one skein of anything, so I was a little disappointed by that because that's all I did. Well, that's all that came with it. So maybe it's supposed to be 1 over 1, 1 over 2, but the pattern says 2 over 2. So at least I am pretty sure that's what it said. Anyway, so I just ordered some more threads. No problem there. I can order thread like you wouldn't believe. So on my trip with my mom, that will be in my next video on the quilting update, I was kind of hoping we had enough time to stop at a needlework store over in that area, but we didn't. So I did place an order instead. So then the other thing I worked on, and I finished it this morning. Well, I finished it, but I finished a part of it so that I could have a nice little update for you. But this here is the Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. And here is where I am with this one. I finished a whole basket. So there's that. So now, with this one, I am stitching it on 32 count green apple. Here's my card. Oh, it's in my 32 count green apple, and I think that's by Extra Designs, but it's really hard with the lighter colors to make things stand out. So here's the roasted marshmallow on here, but you can't really see it. And so I'm really struggling with that, what color I'm going to replace it with. And so this whole basket bottom was supposed to be done with the same roasted marshmallow. So this is where I'm asking whether or not this is, you like this, because this, I started using just plain white, and I think it's B2500 or something like that, 2500. And it still was a little too light because it's 1 over 2. So I put a strand of roasted marshmallow and a white together and stitched it 2 over 2. So it's very different from the rest, as it's 2 over 2 versus 1 over 2. And I don't know. I am struggling with this one. My stitches aren't the greatest either. So I don't know if I'm going to rip it out and make it just like a tan basket. I'm gonna get a little bit further down, along with this and make some ideas, but this green fabric I'm struggling with the light colors on this one, choosing the right one. So I don't want to have to rip all that out, but you know, I will if I have to, just to make it look halfway decent. But I think once I get the house in here and see how that conch color, it's kind of a pinky color, looks with this green, we might be making some major color choices, differences, changes, but I'll have to see how this goes. But let me know what you think, okay? Because I am really, really struggling with this one. And then the flowers, the centers this morning, it asks for a hazelnut, which was brown. And when I put it in this bottom flower here, I couldn't see the difference between that and the color of the flower. And now I can't remember what color that was. But, so I changed it out for putty. And I like that. It's almost a yellow, dirty yellowish kind of color. So I really liked how that turned out. So I really like I like that palomino color when the stems and stuff. And so I really like that. But I'm really struggling with that basket. And I want to move right onto the house. I don't want to put the initials and some more snowflakes in here. I don't know if they're snowflakes or not, but whatever these little, and see, you can't even see them. I need to change the color on that. So, and they're snowflakey type thingies, but because you can't really see them. And then I'm struggling. And I don't want to put any more of those in there until I make a final decision. So I won't put my initials in there either until later, but. So I'm going to put that one down and go back to the Smith sampler for now and probably work on that for the rest of the week. I work tomorrow. I'm off on Friday, and I have the overnight shifts on my weekend, and then I have another overnight in the middle of the week next week. So I'm going to be tired for days, so all I'm going to be able to do is stitch, and that's kind of all that I have been doing is stitching. So until recently. And so you'll have to stay tuned. This is in this bag here with the little bunnies on it. My old fashioned and the pink polka dots. But, so there is that. So my plans now going forward as to what I'm going to work on to fill the spaces of the two that I finished. I'm going to start this month the Cornwall Cottage Sampler by Rosewood Manor. And I'm going to start Tisket a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. I have ordered fabrics and all the called for threads on these, and they should be here next week, I think. I placed the order and I haven't gotten a confirmation that they have shipped anything yet, so. But I don't have a needlework store near me, and I really wanted to I took these with me, and I really wished I had a store that was really close. So I can put fabrics up to the actual picture, see them in hand rather than seeing them online. But I'm really looking forward to starting that Tisket a Tasket, because that's like, oh, to die for me. I think that's absolutely fabulous. Anything else? I think that is it as far as cross stitch updates go. So I'm going to get prepared to set up a second video and work on the quilting update, because I've got quite a bit of an update there. So stay tuned for that. We'll get this published as soon as possible, probably no later than Friday. I should have 2 videos. This Quilt Tube 10 cross stitch update. And then I'll have a Quilt Tube 10 quilting update. I didn't really want to have 2 separate videos. I'd like to continue with this, the Quilt Tube theme, because that is my thing. But lately it's just been cross stitch because I've spent a lot of time cross stitching the last couple weeks. So anyway, let me get back to, let me get going on the next video, and I will see you all next time. Thank you. Bye now.